So there is this thing where, and this happens to everyone, where we lock people into their roles. We lock people into just the image that we have of them. And it's just simply us holding that image and expecting a certain behavior or, just a certain way of being that just that expectation sort of locks the other person in. And it happens all the time with everyone, and you can feel it by simply noticing, I have to do this because it's expected and I can't change. There is this almost unspoken, just blindly accepted way of living in society that this is who I am, this is what's expected, and then that's it. And I'm not allowed to change. It takes away your freedom. And I think for the most part, we don't notice it. We're not aware of it. And I think, and that's how it was for myself too, you don't only feel locked in, but there is this whole, you don't think that there is a possibility of even changing or being allowed to be different. That's how it was for me. I just thought, this is how people see me, so that's what I am, that's who I am. And it was terrible. I mean, usually it's negative. Especially those close to you, the negatives are always talked about or pointed out, because I don't like this, and stop it and change it and whatever. And you just blindly just believe what people tell you about yourself. The same goes for children. So if you have a problem child, it's a terrible word. But if you have a child that has issues, say with anger outbursts, overreacts to a degree where you feel like that's not really normal. Other kids don't react like that. And you're trying to deal with it, and it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible, because I know it drains you. It causes a lot of anxiety. It causes a lot of disruption in the family. And you try and manage the child, and at the same time you try and manage your own emotions and your own health and energy. And you're also trying to keep everything going as normal, that the rest of the family isn't affected. And by doing that, which is completely normal, well, of course we do it, of course we try it like that, but by doing that, we're sort of locking the child into the anger outbursts, into the anger issues. We're now creating an environment where we're tiptoeing around the angry child, careful not to make it angry, careful that nothing is mentioned or nothing happens where the child reacts, and that can lead to anger. And you are on edge, you're not relaxed, you are now overly sensitive, critical of everything happening, trying to keep everyone calm so a child isn't disturbed. So you're on edge now. You're in a state of constant, this panic, that you're trying to keep under the rug and just keep everything from just being normal and being nice and happy and, so the bomb doesn't explode. And by doing that, you are, without meaning to, creating a toxic environment, first for the angry child to, because they feel it, and now you've sort of locked them into this role because you have set up their life to match that. you've set up the environment to almost cultivate it, and you are also creating this distance or this separation between this child and the rest of the family by trying to control everyone, what they're doing, what they're saying, how things are running, and you are almost, micromanaging as much as you can to prevent an anger outburst that is uncomfortable for you and that you feel like you can't deal with. And of course, then that creates more of it. Or if it doesn't create more of it, at least it sort of perpetuates it. You're setting up the stage for, this is my life, and this is the dynamic. The stage is set, and now what? Now everyone continues this way because there's no space to change. There's no space to be otherwise. And it's such a terrible thing to realize or to look at, because the person that sets the stage wants the opposite of what they're doing. And to sort of look and realize, oh my God, what am I doing? What have I done? It's so painful, it's so like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What have I done, and what do I do now? So now you have to move through this whole, okay, I am locking everyone in this position, in this role. How do I stop? And at the same time, how do I not feel guilty? Because now if you add another layer to this issue, of I feel ashamed, I'm guilty, I'm bad, or, I am trying so hard and it's still not good enough, then, that's another sort of burden on everyone. It's never ending. But it really is this whole, again, I think every time I talk about something, it's always going to come back to the exact same thing. I don't know if that's going to get annoying, but it just is like that. And it all comes back to you wanting to fix something externally, control something, change something. You're walking on eggshells trying to keep things from escalating or flowing a certain way because you can't cope with it, you don't want to cope with it, you think it's bad or whatever. And what's being neglected is your internal side, and that's where the answer lies to everything, to all of this. So for this child, I don't really have the answers exactly, but I know that for this example with, an angry child or just a child that maybe seems out of control, the best thing you can do is to turn inward and work on yourself. And it's always the answer to anything in life. Work on yourself. Go inside and work on yourself. What's so uncomfortable? Why can't the child be the way the child is? It's not your child to control, and it's my child, and I'm responsible, and I'm so attached, and it reflects on me. The way the child is a reflection of me. It's not you. This is where you have to sort of let go. It's not your child in a sense that, you brought it into the world, but it's its own soul, it has its own karma, is doing its own work here in this world. And your job is to, for a short while, sort of keep it safe, help it grow. But what happens, and the work that the child has to do, or the work that the soul has to do, that has nothing to do with you, and that should not be stopped or tried to be managed. And it can't be, you just cause more suffering or frustration and more energy when you try and meddle and try and fix or control. So what you do is you go inward and you think, what in me is so attached that I can't let this flow and just happen and like unfold naturally. Why am I so scared of this anger? Where is that coming from? Why is there this fear? What would happen? And I think ultimately it comes down to this attachment, my child, I have to save it. This is not good. There's this belief that whatever my child's going through, this is not good. It's not okay. And that belief, that thought is the trouble. If you just allow and say, my child is moving through this anger. This is what needs to be expressed. This is what he needs to move through, what she needs to move through. Let me be here and offer a space for my child to come to when it's done with the flow of whatever is moving through, whatever it has to do. When it's done, there is a space here, an open space that holds no judgment, that holds no expectations, that is just pure love. And my child can come to me and then shed its role, shed its behavior, and just be soul, Look past the personality, the person, the body, the mind. Look past it and remember to see everyone as soul, including your family. And that's why this is so hard. The closer the person is to you, the harder it is to see them as just soul, and to have that open space and that pure love. It's ridiculous because the people closest to us are the ones we're meant to love unconditionally, We're meant to love them the best. And it's so hard. And part of that is because we're so attached, and then there's so much expectation, and we lock each other in. And it's like, we clip our wings. We clip the wings of the people we love. And it's a terrible thing to realize, but also a beautiful thing to realize. Because only when you see it and you realize it, you can change it and you can actually do something about it. So it is beautiful. Don't get lost in blame. Don't get lost in, beating yourself up. Be grateful to have the realization. And do your work. And it's inside. It's not out there. Your job is not to find a solution to the anger. You can, of course, you can seek support. See a therapist, try and find ways of how to deal with the anger, but just know that these are band-aids, that they don't address the issue. The issue is that your child is locked in by you, maybe by your partner, maybe by the whole family, locked into this behavior now because that's the expectation. And until you free your child of these, tightly held beliefs and expectations and stories, your child's not free and can't change and can't get out of this hell, because it's not fun for the person with the anger at all. So you can seek therapy, you can seek support outside of you, yes, and that's good. And sometimes we are so defeated and so drained that we do need something. And that's great to get you back up, to get your energy back up, to get your strength. But ultimately, you're going to have to turn inward and learn to let go, to love properly, unconditionally. Not person, not body, not mind, but what underlies it, the true self. You have to find that in you so that you can see it in others. And that will set you free and will set the others free. And another example is with your spouse as well. I think a lot of people in marriages and relationships just feel like they're not free. I personally have been there as well. And it is it is because of this whole looking to the other person to fulfill you, and looking maybe even to the other person to allow you to do something, even though when you sit back you're thinking, well, actually I can do it. It's not like my partner stops me, but somehow you don't feel like you're allowed to do it. And then you're like, I'm not sure why that is. Maybe my spouse needs to be more actively involved in me wanting to, I don't know, for example, start a business, and then you think, he's too passive. He just goes like, whatever, yeah, do whatever you want. And then it feels like, wow, okay, I can. The freedom is there, but still something isn't, letting me move and change and go after my dreams. And it's a bit confusing, because when you look, you do see like there is a freedom. No one's telling me don't, and you're not allowed to, and you can't. But at the same time, it's almost like I can't move. I can't make that step to change or to start something. And it is that, again, this like, it's almost invisible, this lock that people have on us. There is this expectation, that's unspoken expectation of your role and who you are to everyone. And you can't change because you need to do as they want, this unspoken want. You need to continue looking after the children. You hop up, you have to make breakfast. I mean, this is just an example now. And then you take the kids to school. And then you come home and then you clean the house and then you make lunch and then you pick up the kids and then they do their homework and you're there. And then the husband comes home from work. He has been working all day and he's locked into his role of he has to make the money. And he comes home and then dinner, you make the dinner and the husband sort of sits back and you are completely responsible for the kids and you feel so unsupported. But he is locked into the role of having to make money and you are locked into the role of she looks after the kids and she does the food. And and to break out of that is so difficult because it's an expectation, and then society expects you to do it all effortlessly because you're a mother. Of course you have to do it effortlessly. Look around you, everyone does it effortlessly. Big smiles on their faces. Social media is inundated with happy mums and hugging their kids who are smiling and so happy and well behaved. It's all perfect, it's all out there. And you build this image that I have to do that as well. And so it's almost like all of society locks you into this role as well. Not just your family, but especially your family. And then you can get locked into this role also as, mother and wife and cook and cleaner. But, she's so sensitive and she always whinges about it. And suddenly you are the whingy person that doesn't, that can't hold it together. That is something that people will put on you. You do it once or you do it twice, you go through a bit of a phase and all of a sudden it becomes your new role. People lock you in. I don't know if some of you can think of, maybe it's exactly this example or maybe it's similar. And you can think, oh my God, yes, I feel like I have become this person. It's like your image now. And you are locked in it. And the more you're locked in it, the more you sort of have to act that way. Because people treat you that way. It's a crazy cycle. It's so funny when you see it. And all you have to do is just go back inside, just go back internal and just think, who am I? What am I? And realize that there is this lock from outside and to work past it. It's realizing it is already, I think, more than half of the work done. And then it just becomes catch your thoughts, catch your reactions. There is a lot of this expectation. If I don't do it, I won't be loved. If I don't do it, I will lose, whatever. But it is exactly that you need to stop, that you need to stop reacting, that you need to stop blindly following whatever you think that you have to do in this life. There is nothing that you have to do in this life. You can give up things, you can change. And I think once we allow ourselves to do it, the people they might not react well at first. Like, what the hell is going on? And she's losing her mind. And what? She's not going to be a mother anymore. And she's, doesn't she love her children? And all this stuff. But it is, if you go in and you act, you try and look after yourself and you try and act from love, you can slowly break out of these roles, out of your role, but also at the same time let other people break out of their roles. And that's not easy to do. That is a slow, everyday sort of practicing. The people that you love, let them be free. That is not easy, because when you set someone free, you sort of give up control, and control is sort of the thing that gives us this security. And if I control this person that I love so much, or they act exactly the way that I expect them to act, then everything's okay. I'm secure. If suddenly someone acts out of character, you get worried, and this is exactly it. This is exactly the thing that locks us in. So you break out, slowly recognize the role that you are locked into, and gently break yourself out of it by allowing yourself to be vulnerable, by allowing people to have a reaction towards your change, towards you becoming who you are, who you truly are, and at the same time also allowing other people to change and to be who they need to be and want to be. It can be very daunting, but it is a right move, and it does free. It frees you. It frees the people around you, the people in your life. And ultimately, isn't that what we all want? Isn't that what life is about? Don't you want to be free so that you can grow, change and grow, and not be locked into this small little person that maybe you were 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago? We need to change. We need to grow. We need to unfold. We need to spread our wings. And not just us, but everyone. So, spread your wings, but also help the people that you love to spread their wings. Yes, let me know if there are any questions, if anything's unclear, and how you see this affecting yourself, or people in your life. And let me know if there are any changes that you're thinking of doing. If this has, if this was like an aha moment for you.